Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of Sermondo Talks. My name is Kristina and I'm here to introduce you to some of the smartest Amazon experts from all around the world. If you've already subscribed to our channel, good job. If you're new to our channel and you'd like to get some industry insights, hear some interesting stories about entrepreneurship, and learn some useful hacks that you can apply to your own Amazon business, make sure you subscribe to our channel now and hit that notification bell so you will never miss another episode again. My guest for you today is Michael Southworth. He's the founder and CEO at Elemerce, an e-commerce full-service agency based in the US. We will talk about his company, his own entrepreneurial journey, and of course, coronavirus, how it affects businesses worldwide and what you can do now and in the future. Let's say hi and ask him some questions. So guys, I'm here today with Michael Southworth. He's the founder and CEO of Elemerce, a full-service agency based in the US. Hi, Michael. So glad to have you on.
Hi, thank you, Kristina. Great to be here.
In one sentence, what is Elemerce?
You said it pretty well. Elemerce is a full-service, creative and advertising marketing agency for e-commerce brands. We work with brands and manufacturers on the Amazon channels, as well as Google Shopping, Walmart.com, and social advertising content, etc.
All right. How many employees do you have?
25 to 30 full-time employees, depending kind of on the week or the month.
And how long have you been around for already?
Elemerce started about 5.5 years ago as an Amazon only agency, and my partner Eric's business started 16 years ago as a traditional digital marketing agency. We merged companies a little over a year and a half ago now. So total overall been in existence, to almost 16 years.
And how did you or do you know so much about selling online? Have you been an Amazon seller yourself, an e-commerce seller? What's the story behind that?
Yeah, so I have done some Amazon selling, most of the Amazon selling after I started the agency to kind of learn the ins and outs and get some experience, hands-on experience myself and with our team. I had, prior to that, I was in a packaging and branding business and had done a startup supplement company, a green tea company that we went the route of affiliate marketing in that. So I have some experience in kind of product development and that digital marketing arena, but really, my partners and I saw a huge white space as we looked at because we're very much involved in the kind of product supply chain and marketing and distribution model between me and the other founding partners, and we really saw that e-commerce was it was the way things were going, about 6 years ago, and that people, companies didn't really know what to do with Amazon. I would say that a lot of the kind of entrepreneurial, startup sellers were a lot more familiar with Amazon and e-commerce, how to do things, than the larger, more established brands were. They had no clue, and a lot of them still have no clue and are finally accepting the fact that they need to do something and pay attention to it, right? So we just saw that white space and opportunity, so we went to work kind of creating a business plan in recruiting some key Amazon talent, former Amazon employees, former Amazon sellers, and just so that we could learn the ropes and then started building a process and a team around it.
I think it's great that you have real hands-on experience. I think that's a great sign of quality for any Amazon agency or e-commerce agency. Besides that, what do you think, like in general, what makes a good Amazon full-service agency?
Well, a lot of the things that we struggled with were processes and systems, right? That's one of the hardest things to build and create in a company when you're just starting out. Your resources are limited. maybe someone on your team doesn't even really have that skill set, which was the case in our original partnership. And we didn't, and you're just you're in the weeds trying to take care of clients and do the things that you don't necessarily have the processes and systems to scale that and make that repeatable, right? And be consistent. And that's necessary in order to deliver consistent service. It's really hard. So you have one or two or three or five talented people that do a good job, but one of them has a bad day, or one of them does something different than the other, and all of a sudden there's chaos. So that's where we saw a lot of the challenges in getting going, and that was key to really creating I think a higher level of value, raising the level of value, and especially the consistency across every client, month after month after month.
Of course, I know you. We've spoken a couple of times before this interview, and you told me that you use some sort of tracking tool so your clients can see what is happening, what their money is spent on, what are you working on. Can you tell me a little more about that?
Yeah, definitely. So originally to solve one of our pain points and provide a little extra insight to our customers, or make things easier for them, we took our PDF reports that we would do on a weekly basis, showing their spend and revenue and top performing campaigns, et cetera. And we automated that through APIs, not only with Amazon, but if they have Google campaigns running or Facebook campaigns, Instagram, we would tie all of those in and allow people to see all of that information right there in the dashboard. And then made that so that it's dynamic, so they can adjust the dates and they can change things just like you do in Amazon. But you're able to pull kind of several sources of data and information and see it on one screen. And then just based on feedback that we had from a lot of prospects and clients that have been kind of not had the greatest experience with agencies in the past. They pay money, and unless they see an immediate return in terms of sales and et cetera, they don't know where that money is going. They don't know how it's being spent. A lot of times they don't even know which channels it's being spent on, but also how is the rest of their money, that management fee, being spent. So we took and added just something we call transparency, right? To allow our customers, all of our clients, have access to this portal, their own custom login, and they're able to at any time see over whatever period how many tasks we have open for them. They have direct insight into our project management system. So they see the tasks that we have open for them, what the tasks that we've completed, and then how many hours were spent on all those tasks, or how many total hours over a given amount of time. So that's provided a lot of peace of mind and comfort for clients to see that, like, hey, here are all the things that they're working on. Here are the things that are in queue. Here are the just to understand kind of where things are and the amount of work that's going in to helping them progress.
Would you say that transparency is your major USP? So if I'm a potential client and I could choose between your agency and I also have 2 or 3 other offers, why should I choose you over the others, in your own words?
Well, I would say that the biggest thing that we're trying to accomplish with the transparency and with our systems and processes is trust, right? That's what when you're bringing on an agency to work with you, you're taking a risk. Typically agencies, you're gonna be investing a few thousand to several $1,000s over a period of time. You really got to give it a few months to even know if it's working or if it's going anywhere. If you're 2-3 months down the road and you invest all this money, I mean, it's a big risk to take for companies to not know. So we feel like giving them that transparency and allowing them to actually see the process and the progress and what's happening really helps establish that trust early on. Because I can tell people, I do believe our other USP is just that we've been building these processes and systems for 16 years, right? So our ability to be efficient and execute effectively, consistently, time and time again, it's very robust, the system that we use. And so I think and believe that we do a better job of that than most. But I can't just tell you that or tell someone that, that's where that transparency piece really comes in. Because they're like, don't just take it from me. We'll show you from day one. And it also has a nice way of holding our team very accountable to, hey, the client sees everything we're working on and the amount of time that you're putting in, energy you're putting in, to their business. And so it's just a nice, added benefit to really keep our team motivated.
Speaking of your clients, now it's time to brag. If I would ask former clients of yours, hey, what do you think of Elemerce? How are they working? What would they tell me?
I think, some of my favorite things that I've heard recently, especially that mean a lot to me are, you guys did what you said you were going to do. Companies and executives that have had lots of experience working with different agencies. And like I said, they kind of had not the best experience in the past, and were a little bit skeptical about bringing on another agency to do something. And they're like, we love working with Michael Southworth, your account manager, and he's super communicative, and he just executes. He does what he says he's going to do. We can see all of that, and the results are proof, right? Things are happening. Their Amazon business is growing. It's helping them secure greater distribution in retail, and it's just helping their hit their goals. And so that's, at the end of the day, that's why we do this, right? We all want to have a successful business. For me personally, and my partner, and really our team, we want to help people grow, right? That's the passion that becomes a part of it. Is we like seeing clients grow. We like seeing clients happy. And I've kind of always been in this service space. Like, I love engaging with people and providing value and seeing that smile on their face, like just seeing, like, be satisfied and feel good about the work that you're doing for them. So that means the world to me, when I know that our team is performing and they're delivering that value, and the clients are appreciating it like that. Those are some of the comments that are, and they're not uncommon. We have, our clients are happy about the effort that goes in, the transparency, the communication, and the results.
So your clients enjoy working with you. What about clients you enjoy working with? Are there any requirements that you have for your clients? What should they bring to the process? Should they also give their input? What about communication? What do you expect from your clients when you're working with them?
That's a great question, Kristina. I mean, on the business side of things, when we're looking at a product or a brand, it's almost as if we want to invest, like we're an investor, right? Because we are going to invest time and resources and opportunity costs and all that into trying to make this brand succeed. So we want to look at the things, the fundamentals. And a lot of times companies or sellers, will miss this and think about what are the tricks, or what's, how do we optimize the best to get in front of somebody, and but maybe their product doesn't have a USP, doesn't have a unique value proposition above the competitors, or maybe it's not priced competitively enough. Maybe their supply chain isn't strong enough or set enough yet to supply the demand. If we have success and then they slow down, well, that really hurts the momentum. So we look at those kind of things to say, hey, is this product, have a unique value in the marketplace? Are they priced at a point where they're gonna, people are gonna want to buy it? If they have reviews already going, again, to the unique value, do people like it, right? Is this a good product? And can they supply the product? The other thing is the commitment to customer service. That's really big for us, customer experience, right? We're trying, our job is to attract the people and, bring the traffic and provide a really great upfront experience for them. So the commitment to follow through on that experience on the back end has to be there from the clients that we work with. If they are going to haggle about, returns or not respond to every customer that has a hard time, or not take that feedback constructively and try to better their product or the experience, then we don't really want to work in that situation, you know. So we're very, in our kind of vetting process and sales process, we're having those kind of conversations to kind of measure, you know, that. And then, you know, during that sort of interview process, both for the, you know, the brand interviewing us, and we're interviewing them at the same time, we're finding out, like, is this person easy to communicate with? You know, are we on the same page? Are we kind of like have the same mentality, and you know, is this going to be a good working relationship, and we're going to have a good high level of communication? I think you can sense a lot of that in that early stage. So those are some key things that are important to us, because again, we want a win-win. We don't want to just take money from somebody for a while and it doesn't work out. We don't want to take money from someone, you know, that we don't think they have a great opportunity. So we'll turn away opportunities if we don't see a real chance for a win-win relationship.
I think that's great. I also always say that when a service provider works together with a company that hires them, it's not only important that the service provider meets the criteria the client maybe has, but also the other way around. Otherwise, you can't work really smoothly. So my next question would be, were there also work relationships in the past that didn't go that smoothly? Like, did you have clients that were unhappy with your work? And if yes, how did you deal with that?
Yeah, it's definitely. And that's kind of a growing pains for all of us, right? Especially in the early days of a business. And certainly before we merged with my partner's company a year and a half ago, we had more of that happen. I'd say we still, 80% of our clients were still very, happy and we're going well, but both from a standpoint of not vetting properly and being more eager to take on anybody that will pay you to work. There were products that really didn't have a chance that we maybe shouldn't have partnered with. Mm-hmm. There were relationships that we should have, realized, hey, we don't see eye to eye, or we don't have a good communication structure, that, we're going to run into challenges. And for us, in my entire life, my entire career, last 30 years being in the service industry, for me, it's about a partnership. That win-win is like, let's feel like we're really part of the team. And if someone treats you, if you treat, a brand like they're just a customer and they're just a paycheck, it's not going to work. If they treat the agency or the vendor like they're just a vendor and they're a dime a dozen, it's not going to work long-term. Right. So a lot of those are just learning curve and getting comfortable with your processes and systems, but also being willing to say no to, and really look for the things that are kind of signs of whether it's going to be a success or less likely to be a success, and being able to say no to those and focus on the ones we really can help and have that partnership kind of relationship.
What I'm interested in too is, you told me you have account managers, right? But if a client really wants to speak to you, the founder, the CEO, personally, do you make time for those clients, even though you're not really the main person responsible for them?
Absolutely. If you can't tell from this interview, I love to talk. And I love people, that's why I'm in this business, in the service business. So yeah, definitely. I make time for all of my employees, for all of our clients, for all of our vendors. I mean, of course, we want to be efficient, and we want our account managers and our team to be able to, execute properly and to handle things so that we can address, the business as a whole and make sure that we're providing the right level of value. But absolutely, I mean, I'd love to talk to anybody.
I can imagine that you have dozens of emails to answer and calls to take during this time right now. A lot of our listeners will already know where I'm getting at. Coronavirus changed a lot in the landscape of commerce in general, but especially e-commerce and Amazon. Yesterday, a lot of FBA users got the notice that they are not allowed to send inventory in anymore. I bet some of your clients, or maybe freaking out a little bit. How are you handling the situation? What do you think is most important right now?
Yeah, that's a great, very highly relevant question right now, right? Yeah, so we've got kind of both sides of things. We're very fortunate to have several clients that are in food or healthcare supplement kind of space, where I think some of their products are still deemed as more necessity essentials, and so they're still able to ship product while others are not able to send in product. And so there's a couple of things that we look at, or we're like, think of it this way: part of your team trying to brainstorm what are the solutions, what are the different things we could try, and then let's talk through those things. Let's put those on the whiteboard. Let's see, is this a good idea? Can we handle this? Can we address it this way? And then let's be flexible with how we respond. So, for existing clients that have already we've been working with for months and months, and we're very proactive on helping them manage the inventory side, and we're always, hey, let's have 30 to 60 days worth of inventory at all times, if it makes sense, unless there are specific constraints around supply chain or cash flow, et cetera. So most of them are in pretty good shape. But then we have newer clients that have just signed on, and they're not in one of those categories, that's considered essential. So Amazon has cut them off. Well, so we talked to them about potential FBM. Do they have a strong enough? And this is something that we're in the early stages with a client. We're always going through this. Can we have backup listings and FBM? Do you have a way to fulfill and serve these orders if you were to run out, or if especially busy times like fourth quarter when shipping and receiving is very limited or takes a long time at Amazon. What are our backup plans, and helping customers put those in place, put those processes and systems in place so we can address that. So, and then beyond that, one customer that just signed up for an advertising package said, hey, my inventory got cut off. I'm going to be completely out of inventory in a week. And I don't want to go spend all this money on advertising if I don't have inventory in Amazon. And we say, yeah, absolutely. Let's pause things. If we don't have a logistics solution as a backup that works for you, then let's pause things for you. So we believe in being very flexible for that way as well. Just again, being a true partner that let's help weather any storms. Let's help look at the big picture and the long-term success, as opposed to like, hey, you're under this contract and you have to pay this much every month and whatever. We don't even do long-term contracts anymore for that reason, right? We want again to build that trust for people to say, hey, we're here to help you succeed and figure things out, in a way that works.
One thing that I've witnessed a lot in the past is that a lot of Amazon sellers don't really diversify their risk. A lot of Amazon sellers only sell on Amazon. So I think a lot of them will feel the pain now when they are not in one of those essential categories. What's your opinion on that? Would you say it's always important to have your own online shop, or maybe selling on other marketplaces like eBay, for example? What's your approach on that? Your advice?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Thank you. We have a holistic approach, and we have the fortune of having, core competencies around Google Shopping and selling even on social media, Walmart.com. Those are some of the key ones. And then direct websites. I mean, we build websites and build e-commerce sites and drive direct traffic and help set up logistics. We have great logistics partners. I absolutely believe from a not only a diversification standpoint and kind of mitigating your risk, hedging your bets kind of standpoint, but also customer value, and company value standpoint of bringing those customers to you. Amazon, I think when companies and brands look at Amazon as purely a revenue channel, as a sales channel, it's a mistake, because it's just as much of a marketing and customer acquisition channel as it is a sales revenue channel. The challenge, of course, and why sometimes brands will stay away from Amazon is because they don't own the customer. they'll be fearful to drive traffic to the customer. But if you can engage with that customer on social media and et cetera, your website, if you can create that true, 360 customer experience between brick and mortar retail and your website and Amazon and other marketplaces, like you really can capture that customer, as a loyal customer. If they love you and love the brand and you engage with them, properly, then you can capture that customer. So that's a big reason for, do the website sales, have that opportunity for them. Maybe you have some different bundles or, different offerings that you offer on your website, things that eventually draw people to your website and become your customer. You capture their name. Now you can remarket to them. There's all that added value comes when you that you can provide when you understand who the customer is. And so I think there's a lot of solid reasons and business case for why you need to spread that out and not just focus on Amazon. And also a lot of those channels are gaining a lot of speed, right? Google, obviously a very big company with a lot of customer and buying data and a lot of search volume happening there. They're putting a lot of time and resources into building the shopping actions platform and building their own marketplace. Walmart.com, likewise, also spending billions of dollars to try to take a chunk out of Amazon, and they successfully have. They've grown significantly over the past few years. And Shopify doing their own, building fulfillment networks and channels, FedEx jumping into fulfillment. So there's so much quickly changing, and while Amazon is this big behemoth, and you just have to take perspective again and say Amazon is not everything. And if you kind of pigeonhole and focus too much on one channel, you at great risk for sure.
Then we already are at the juicy part. I will now ask you some questions about your personal life, your personal background. First of all, why did you decide to found your own agency and not just work for any other company as an employee? Well, yeah,
that just speaks to my personality, right? And I think kind of my comfort level. It's been a long time since I had a job. I've tried, escaping to Hawaii and building an ocean touring business with a couple of my friends. That didn't work out, and I consider that a large part of my education and where I spent that education money. I've tried the green tea business. I've tried my successful business prior to this was printing and packaging, and got into really product packaging and branding and fulfillment and that supply chain piece of the supply chain. And what I found in that is I really love working with customers. I like that's where my passion and I guess my skill set or my gift is just kind of in working with people and building relationships and trying to develop solutions that again make people feel good, happy about working with you and being associated with you, right? So I was in that business for about 20 years actually, and it was I just got to a point where this is a very tough business to scale. It's very traditional, kind of old school, and I didn't see a great way for me to support my family long term to create something that had long term value. If I wasn't out there kind of hustling with the customers and or just constantly building those relationships and keeping it going and taking the orders and getting things going, then I didn't have income coming in. And so I didn't have a big 401k built up and a retirement plan and all those things. So that's really what got me to start talking with a couple of my buddies and these two other entrepreneurs about what can we create based on the skill set in the kind of product and supply chain distribution and marketing backgrounds that we have. Let's take that synergy and create something that has value in the marketplace. That's something that's current and that's trending, that has great runway ahead of it. So the same way you create a product or a brand or anything, right? You identify the market opportunity. You see, is this something people are going to buy? How long do we think we have in this runway? Is it something that's a fad for 1 year? Or is it something that people are going to be doing the next 10, 20 years? And so we saw that hey, there's a really good opportunity and this isn't going anywhere. So let's go down this road. Let's build something. And if we build something of real value, that delivers real value, then we'll build a company that's an actual business that can, that can sustain, that can provide some kind of exit someday, or can at least provide, kind of recurring revenue. And so it very much for the same reason, I think people jump into products and brands a lot of the times. I want to develop something. I want to develop a loyal customer base. I want to create a model that people come back to, right?
Yeah.
People have loyalty that people come back to, and it continues to generate income for me and my employees, my team. It's something that's valuable in society, and it's not just transactional from day to day or year to year. So that's what drove me to kind of like seek out an opportunity. And then we just thought that e-commerce is pretty sexy and wasn't going anywhere. It was only growing. So we got excited about it pretty quickly.
My next question for you would be, is there any skill or character trait that you wish you had, but you don't have at the moment?
I would say the thing that I have been working on and focusing, especially the last year or two, has been kind of being present and listen. I think that really plays into really actively listening and really trying to get out of my head. Because when you're talking, when you're thinking about these things, you're not present. And so I read, this is a great one for anyone. I was referred to a book that I listened to, and I'm not a big reader because my mind is just going too fast all the time and hard to focus. But I really love this book to the point where as soon as I finished it, I started over and started listening again. It's called Solve for Happy by Mo Gaudet. He's a engineer and very mathematical mind, and worked a VP at Google on their innovation team. And one of the things he really talked about, focused on, is being present in that moment. And that's been something that kind of a key focus of mine, and some of those mentors that I've really been drawn to the last couple of years is people that are kind of subscribe really into some of that Eastern philosophy, Buddhism, yoga, this really kind of getting centered and being present. And in the book, he talks about how we, 90% of our lives, or 95%, or some crazy number, we actually live in the future or the past. We're either thinking about what we're going to do, or what's going to happen, what's coronavirus going to do to me and my family, what's all this stuff going to happen, and or what just happened. Even if we linger for 2 minutes on something that already happened, it's like it's in the past, And so very rarely do we live in that present moment and just kind of like observe. And so I think that's a real key. I believe, just like his book is about, it's a key to happiness, but it's really a key to being successful too. And I think that a lot of the very successful people have that ability, that at least certain times they can bring themselves to that center and just be present with someone that they're talking to, be present with a key relationship, be present with a customer, and really understanding and empathizing with what they're saying and the experience they're having with your product or with your company. Like, instead of just always, the natural instinct to immediately start thinking of a response. How am I going to respond to this? So it's a real challenge for me because of the way my mind works, and not a skill that I was born with, for sure. So that's my big focus. And that's the thing that I wish for, I hope for, I strive for, is to like get really, really good at that.
That's now really bad for my next question, because my next question is about your past, actually. But if you travel back in time, let's say 5 years, what advice would you give yourself from what you have learned the last 5 years?
I would just say don't hesitate. That I tell myself, like, take action and move quicker. Like, you don't have to have everything figured out. You don't have to be the smartest person. You don't have to have the best thing in the world. It's the people who take action and fail quickly or learn to say no quickly, right? It's just like figure out what's working and quickly, if it's not working, do something else. And so, we were one of the first kind of really early agencies here in America, in the US kind of picked up a little bit later than even Europe in terms of like service providers. It's kind of managed services for Amazon. We were pretty early in that game. We were positioned really, really well. Now there are a lot of agencies that are much larger than us, and that's fine because, we like being boutique and having a close relationship with our customers. We don't necessarily want to be huge. But we kind of moved along slowly, right? Like we made incremental little changes year after year and continue to grow and improve. But based on the space that we're in, and this is highly relevant to this whole audience, right? We're in the world of e-commerce. Is very fast moving. It's high paced, quick changes, lots of competition flooding the market. Like you got to be quick and stay ahead, right? And so that's a mistake that I made. It's just kind of like, because I'm kind of laid back and like to just enjoy the time with my employees, or and not get too uptight about things. But there are certain things that you just need to really like be focused on and take action on quickly.
All right. Was there a time where you wanted to quit? You told the story earlier that there was a time 2.5, 3 years ago when you were not sure if you can keep your business, where you couldn't recover from something that happened as quickly as usual. Was that a time where you said, all right, that's it, I'm out, I don't want to have the responsibility anymore?
A little bit. I was more a feeling of worry at that time, like how am I going to save that, what am I going to do with these employees? Like it was a certain event, losing our biggest client, and things had not been going great. Now we lost our biggest client, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I thought we were getting somewhere and we were going to start finally. I'd have to stop putting money into this company, and now I'm going to have to put more than I was before. And I'm just like, oh, it was more of a scary moment. Honestly, a year after that, which was about 2 years ago now, about 6 months prior to merging, I was at that point where I was really questioning am I going to put in another 3 years to this business model? And I came to the conclusion, this is where I reached out again to my mentors and even more of them, and had deeper discussions about, business model and changes, potential changes I could make, because it wasn't working for me. I had, 12 employees or so that all enjoyed coming to work and had a good job. But I was making less money than I ever had in the previous 10 plus years, and working much harder than I ever had, right? And losing sleep over it. And so I was very aware that things needed to change, right? That I needed a new partner, I needed a new business leader, I needed investment, I needed an acquisition, like I needed something to happen, because I finally faced the reality and made the decision in my mind that I wasn't going to do this same effort for another 3 years and be in the same place, or be just 10% better every year, right? Yeah. So and that's when I just kind of reached out to those mentors, but also started to put it out there and started opening myself to different opportunities. I talked to other agencies about potential mergers or acquisitions. I talked to other people that might be a potential hire that I might be able to come in and help. I interviewed a few people at that kind of executive level. And it's through those discussions that I was able to find the right partner that I had actually been talking to, for a year and a half before that. And we started to actually do some things together, work on some campaigns together and some clients together, and sort of figure things out. And that was key. And I would say that's the big challenge, or thing that I would maybe go back or focus on sooner, is that finding the right partner. because I think that nobody, or at least very, very few people, but none that I know of, have the unique ability to really be this like visionary and, you know, people person and salesperson and all this stuff, and be the operations, you know, analytical, you know, both of those sides. And there are multiple skills that it takes to grow a successful company. And so honestly, when I started Elemerce with my previous two partners, we were all the same kind of person, right? We are all kind of visionary salespeople, just love to get out and network and meet with people and come up with solutions. We could sit in a room, as you can imagine, and talk for a long time and come up with great ideas on the board, right? But nobody there was really good at the execution piece and creating systems and processes that would make those things happen. And so that's what I found in Eric. And that's what has been the real pivotal point. You know, the changes that we've made and the evolution of Elemerce in the last year and a half since merging have been like phenomenal. I mean, it's an entirely different company with a different value proposition, with added services, with new technology, with, I mean, it's been an incredible ride. And so now that work, you know, I'm working even harder than before, but I'm excited about it, right? I'm excited to come to work and say, okay, let me get on these initiatives and these things because great things are happening. And so I think that's a huge thing.
That's great. And speaking of having the right partner, it's one of my favorite questions. If you could hire any famous person in the world to work with you or for you at Elemerce, who would that be and why?
Any famous person?
Any famous person. Someone our listeners will probably know.
That's a great question.
Can be a business influencer, but also, I don't know, Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, well, I mean, my mind went to like Adam Levine, you know, from Room 5, because I really like him and I think he's funny and super talented and very skilled. But I'm not in the music business. I would love to be in the music business if I had that talent, because I love music. But honestly, but in the business sense, in the business world, I would say Mark Cuban would be a great. I would love him to be on my team or be a mentor.
All right. Then another question: if you could walk into Jeff Bezos' office today and ask him for one favor or ask him any question, what would that be?
Why? Gosh, that's a really good question. The question I would want to ask, or the discussion I'd want to have with Jeff Bezos, is how can we partner, right?
Yeah.
How can we provide greater value and help reach your goals, reach Amazon's goals, right? And like, what can we do with sellers and with brands that are really in alignment with, because that's that's what we're always seeking. It's not about all the little, I joked about why do you do this? Why do you do that? Why do you not focus on, you know, sellers and brands the way you do on customers? I know why, because I know that's why Amazon, how they built their business, right? It's focusing on the customer. But it's really about, our job is to help brands be successful, you know, on e-commerce, but on Amazon as well. And so how can we help it? By aligning ourselves with Amazon's, and I think this is valuable when you're from a seller perspective, you're trying to help meet Amazon's goals, which is providing the very best customer service experience possible. Great. By being compliant with, you know, what they ask you to do. Like, those are the things that, trying to align yourself with where Amazon's headed and what it's trying to do and accomplish is the smartest thing I think you can do for your Amazon business. So that would be my question, is like, how can we partner with you? Like, what are the three most important things, Jeff, that you know you want brands to do better, and we'll go help them do it.
Okay. it makes me very sad, but we're already at the last question.
Okay.
If you had 1 minute and the attention of every person selling on Amazon worldwide, which 3 tips would you give to them?
Well, I would say right now, as things are right now,
Yeah.
I would say take this opportunity to step back and look at your opportunity, right? Where is my opportunity to improve? If I can't take advantage of, the current market conditions, how can I use this time to improve my product, my service, my process, my system, so that I can come out stronger, on the other side of this? That's the first question or, that I would ask, or thing I would tell them. Secondly, I would just focus on that, how are we different? Are we continuing to kind of like challenge the status quo? How are we trying to outperform, outwork, out-hustle our competition, right? What can we do from a marketing standpoint, from a product development standpoint to outshine the competition? And then thirdly, the same kind of approach to the customer experience. Do we really have a 360 customer experience? Are we building that? Do we have that on our roadmap? Or like you said, are we focused too much on Amazon, or too much on brick and mortar, or too much on one thing? Are we really viewing it from the customer standpoint? Like, what does the customer need from us? Where do they need to be able to meet us? What answers and solutions do they need? Like that, really, again, taking a page out of, Jeff's book and Amazon's book. Are we truly customer centric? That's it.
Well, that's it. Thank you, Michael, for taking the time and answering all of my and our users' questions. And I hope you stay safe during these times. And yeah, lots of success with your business in the future.
Been a pleasure, Kristina. Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it for today. That was my interview with Michael. If you have any questions for him or for me, simply leave your comment below this video. I also included some helpful links in the description where you can find out more about Elemerce and Sermondo.com. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, you can do this now by either clicking the Sermondo globe somewhere here or press the red subscribe button below this video. And if you do so, I will definitely see you guys next time. I look forward to it. Take care. Bye-bye.